And when I smile, this is me doing a full smile right now, by the way. It's like, what the bro? I can't even laugh right, bro. What the oh my God.
I want to say, because I don't want you guys to feel like I'm being flaky and very all over the place, but I was for a long time, you know? These last few years were pretty difficult for me. They have been pretty difficult for me, and I'm just now like arriving to this place of feeling confidence. And most of all, I really want to make sure I have fun this time around. I don't think I got to have as much fun doing the Montero era because I was more overly focused on, I don't know, making sure the songs did well. And that's what the fucking Dream Boy era is gonna be. We are fucking coming. Montero, we are fucking coming. I have the fucking songs. I have the fucking music. I have the fucking vision. You guys need to sit patiently. You waited this far. We waited this long. Let's fucking keep going.
It's been a while since I last broke down the chaos surrounding Lil Nas X and his roller coaster career. This dude came out of nowhere and shook the whole music game with Old Town Road, a track he literally paid just $30 for on a beat he found online, dropped it on SoundCloud, and boom, it became one of the biggest songs in history. That moment alone should have set him up as a powerhouse for years. And at first it looked like it did. Hit after hit kept rolling in, and every drop felt like it was designed to take over the charts. But here's the twist. Every time the music was blowing up, the headlines were blowing up even bigger because he was always tied to some wild controversy. The drama was part of the rollout. It was never just about the music. It was about shocking people enough to make them look his way. At one point, the stunts felt louder than the songs themselves, whether it was sneakers, videos, or over-the-top performances. The gimmicks became the story. He even got hit with blunt questions like, "Mr. Naza, are you gay?" Stuff that wasn't just about his music anymore, but about pushing buttons. And the thing about shock value, it runs out quick. What was once jaw-dropping becomes predictable. And when that happens, people stop paying attention. Suddenly, the loudest guy in the room feels like background noise. There's only so many times you can mess around with religion, cross lines with the devil, and expect people to keep clapping for you. That shock factor burns out, and when it's gone for good. That's exactly what happened when Lil Nas X dropped his single J Christ at the very start of 2024, hyping it up like it was about to launch a whole new era. But instead of shaking the game, it completely backfired. The track didn't just flop, it tanked so badly that even casual fans, the ones who weren't super invested, felt insulted and turned off. People weren't shocked anymore. They were just tired of the same old gimmicks. And when a song that's supposed to be your big comeback bombs that hard, labels notice. The music execs basically washed their hands of him, deciding he was no longer worth the risk. In an industry where your relevance can disappear overnight, Lil Nas X's name suddenly carried way less weight than before. The industry cooled off on him real quick, and with that came something even scarier. He seemed to lose himself. You could see the cracks forming, not just in his career, but in how he viewed himself. His whole sense of worth looked tied to whether people were still talking about him online, whether his name was trending, whether he still had shock value. Once that faded, it was like he didn't know who he was anymore. He started battling identity issues right in front of everyone's eyes, and it showed in interviews, in his music, and in how he carried himself. After watching hours of his interviews from different stages of his career, one thing becomes clear. He wasn't just chasing fame, he was dipping deeper into some unsettling territory. The energy he was putting out wasn't just playful controversy anymore. It started to feel dark, almost like he was getting caught up in something way bigger than he could handle, dabbling in things people describe as the dark arts. And that's when everything started spiraling fast. Maybe some of that energy was from something deeper, because by the end of 2023, Lil Nas X seemed completely wired up, like he just couldn't sit still. But here's the catch. The trolling, the memes, the wild antics that once kept him viral, they stopped working. The tricks that made him a star in the first place had lost their magic, and without that, the spotlight started slipping away fast. Right before his big Dream Boy rollout, he dropped an EP that was meant to test the waters and build hype for the album. And honestly, some of the tracks were pretty catchy, but the public wasn't buying it, literally. The project fell flat and you could tell the label didn't believe in him anymore. The music videos looked cheap compared to his old work, a clear sign his budget had been cut. And after that, he basically abandoned the whole Dream Boy campaign. Then came the silence. He went ghost on social media, leaving fans confused and asking, what the hell is happening with him? Even in early 2024, when he did pop out in public, he looked off, like something wasn't right. And then came the real shocker. By April, he reportedly lost control of half his face and had to be rushed to the hospital. After months of straight-up silence, Lil Nas X suddenly popped back up online these past few days, and the way he came back had everyone scratching their heads. Out of nowhere, he started posting a string of Cryptic stuff on his Instagram, now calling himself Queen Madeline. The photos weren't giving superstar vibes at all. They looked more like he was holed up in some random Airbnb or short-term rental, surrounded by a handful of belongings and scattered artwork. The whole setup felt off, like he got kicked out of his actual house, scooped up what he could, tossed it in the car, and dipped. The real shocker, his studio, if you can even call it that. The man's computer and music equipment looked like something you'd expect from a broke underground artist just starting out, not someone who once ruled the charts. It gave full-on struggle rapper energy, and fans couldn't believe this was the same guy who had billion-stream hits. Then came the strangest post yet, a photo captioned with, "Oh no, she's gone mad crazy, I tell you." It left people wondering if this was art, a cry for help, or just trolling. But instead of clearing things up, he doubled down, dropping what looked like full-on singles from his upcoming album. And the wildest part, he did it without his label's blessing. That move screamed rebellion, like a kid sneaking out after curfew just to prove a point. And truth is, it wasn't even the first time he'd pulled something like this. His tension with the label has been bubbling for a while, and now it's boiling over in public. Then came the video that had everyone's jaws on the floor, straight up one of the strangest things he's ever posted. It wasn't just bizarre, it was unsettling, like watching a superstar unravel right in front of the world. Not long after things hit rock bottom, word started spreading that Lil Nas X had allegedly overdosed, and soon after that, he was spotted wandering the streets of Los Angeles in nothing but a pair of tidy whities and white cowboy boots. Picture that for a second. A Grammy-winning artist, once at the top of the industry, out in public looking completely disoriented, rambling like a man who had lost all grip on reality. People who saw him said it looked less like a casual meltdown and more like a full-on breakdown, the kind you'd expect to see in downtown LA late at night, not from someone who once owned the Billboard charts. And it didn't just happen once. Witnesses claimed he kept walking up and down the same streets, humming the same eerie little tune over and over, almost like he was giving an impromptu performance for whoever happened to pass by. Except this wasn't a concert, this wasn't a stage, this was raw, chaotic, and out in the open for the whole world to see. It honestly felt like watching a scene straight out of GTA in PC mode where a character just glitches and loops endlessly. That's exactly how people described it. Like he had become some kind of live-action video game character stuck in a broken cycle. And here's the craziest part. The first thought that crossed my mind when I saw it, this has to be an album rollout. It was so theatrical, so over the top that it almost felt planned. But the scary part is nobody could tell if it was real life spiraling or just another stunt to sell music. Outrage promo. That's exactly where my head went, and honestly, can you blame me? With his track record, nothing feels too far-fetched. What really made it strange was the setting, out on Ventura Boulevard at 4 a.m., yet somehow the streets were completely empty. No cars, no buses, no late-night stragglers, just him and the one random person conveniently there to record it all. The whole scene had this staged, almost scripted energy to it, and it made me wonder, could this have been a humiliation ritual? Sounds wild, but with the way this industry works, nothing's off the table. But putting my suspicions aside, here's what went down according to reports. Multiple witnesses called in about a man walking through Studio City butt naked. When the cops pulled up, the bizarre scene didn't stop. He was still out there, still going. And then it got even messier. Allegedly, he clashed with the officers, catching a battery charge after putting hands on one of them. Things escalated so badly that they had to sedate him right there on the spot before hauling him off. The fear was that he might have overdosed, so instead of a straight booking, they rushed him to the hospital first. And here's where it gets real. This isn't just rumors floating around. I actually dug into the arrest records myself, and sure enough, his name was right there under a misdemeanor, all the info matching up. That means this wasn't just gossip, this was official. Even TMZ confirmed he'd been taken to jail, reportedly still sitting there until Monday. No mugshot surfaced yet, but everything else points to the charges being very real. And let me just say this, if the report about him swinging on a cop is true, Lil Nas X should consider himself extremely lucky, because situations like that don't usually end with just a jail cell. We've all seen what can happen when things go left with police, and it can get ugly in seconds. The fact that he only ended up with charges is shocking in itself. Now, nobody really knows the full truth behind his breakdown, but let's be real, it reeks of a drug-fueled psychosis. That's what it looks like, and the rumors about him burning through his money because of heavy use only add fuel to that theory. Think about it. This man should still be sitting on at least $30 million from his career, but instead he's holed up in random Airbnbs, living like someone way below his superstar status. The fall off is impossible to ignore. On top of that, the label has clearly cut him loose for over a year now, which explains why he hasn't been able to drop music how he wants. And after this latest mess, don't be shocked if they officially drop him altogether. Once you lose that machine behind you, it's game over. The industry is cold, and without their power, everything he once had will crumble even faster. At the end of the day, it's a brutal reminder. Chasing fame at the cost of your mind, your soul, and your sanity will never be worth it. The price always comes due, and for Lil Nas X, it looks like the bill just landed on his doorstep. At the end of the day, it really feels like the music industry chewed Lil Nas X up and spit him out without a second thought. And honestly, that's the saddest part. If you look back at his early days, you could see it in his eyes, that spark, that excitement, the raw joy of watching your wildest dream come true. He was glowing with that hunger, like a kid who couldn't believe he'd made it. But fast forward to the last couple of years, and that glow is gone. The spark isn't there anymore. Instead of joy, you see exhaustion, chaos, and a man who seems trapped by the same machine that once crowned him king. Now here's the question, what's really happening? Do you think this is all still a gimmick, just him pushing the envelope even further to stay in the spotlight? Because after looking at that police report, I can't lie. Part of me thought, maybe he's really staging all this, trying to shock his way back into relevance. But the other side of me thinks, what if this isn't a stunt at all? What if it's a man unraveling right in front of us, struggling with something so deep that not even the fame, not even the money can save him anymore? Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. Maybe he started with the gimmicks, and now the gimmicks have consumed him until they became real life. That's the scary part, when the line between performance and reality disappears. So now I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Is this all just another rollout, or is this a superstar collapsing under the weight of his own fame? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more, because trust me, Lil Nas X isn't the only fallen star out here. There are plenty more stories to uncover, and I'll be breaking them down soon. As always, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, signing off. Peace.